What is up, guys? Snofsick here, and today we're talking about my glacier gear. Or I guess my specialized crevasse rescue gear. I don't really know what to call this, but we'll talk about my crevasse rescue gear and why I carry it. We'll try and keep this pretty brief because there's a lot to say about all of these pieces of gear. And by the way, this haul system that I'll be describing today is a 3-to-1 Z pulley, is the most common haul system that I would use. And that's what this gear is designed for. Another thing to note is on a glacier, I'll also be carrying other equipment. You know, I'll have quick draws, I will have like wire gates, probably a few other lockers and things, and I'll throw those into use in different places in the setup. But today we're just talking about the specialized crevasse rescue gear. I'll rack the gear on just a regular locking carabiner. And a carabiner like this is useful for a few reasons. You can use a locker like this as a master point when you're setting up a haul system. I'll probably throw up a diagram and highlight places where I could use the carabiner like this. So, locking carabiners are great, and they have a variety of uses in crevasse rescue situations. Next up, we have this little guy. This is the Petzl Tiblock, and this is a really fun piece of kit. It's an emergency ascender, or a rope clamp, and this can be easily attached to the rope simply by clipping through it with a carabiner, with the rope running through there. And as you can see by the little spikes on the inside, it will clamp the rope and only allow the rope to travel one way through the progress capture. And this is what I use as the tractor, or the moving part of my 3-to-1 haul system. This is what actually pulls the rope up as I haul. And the reason I use this guy instead of something like a prusik is for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a lot quicker. It's much quicker to just take this guy off my harness, throw it onto the rope, and clip a carabiner through it, and have it all ready to go. The other issue that this alleviates is the difference between the diameter of the prusik sling and the rope, because the closer that the rope and the prusik being used on that rope are in size, the less friction will be applied through the friction hitch, whereas the greater the difference, the more friction will be applied. And the issue is, on a glacier, sometimes I use a thicker rope, like my Black Diamond 9-4, which is a sort of mid-size single rope, and most of my prusiks will work pretty well on that. The issue is when I'm using a dedicated glacier rope that sometimes me and my friends use, which is like a 30-meter, 8mm half/twin rope. When we use that, because it's so lightweight and it works well on a glacier, then my prusiks are not going to have anywhere near the grip strength that they would on a larger diameter rope, because my accessory cord that my prusiks are made of is about 6mm or so. And so because of that, right, I don't have to deal with a bunch of variability in the holding power of my prusiks. There's nothing worse than having a prusik start slipping on you when you've got a buddy in a crevasse that you're trying to haul out. You really don't want to be dealing with that, especially if the ropes are wet, icy, or some other, have some other issue. This alleviates a lot of these issues because this works on wet ropes, icy ropes, and because it works on ropes all the way down to 8mm diameter and up to ropes 11mm in diameter. So you want to make sure that the ropes you're using are within the manufacturer recommended rope sizes for this particular rope clamp. But because all of the ropes that we use are basically between those sizes, this is a great option, and it alleviates a lot of worries about dealing with like different size ropes and prussiks. It just makes my life a lot easier. So great emergency ascender there. Also, it's very affordable, well, relatively affordable. The tip lock's only about $45 from Petzl, which makes it a really solid option. Next we have this guy. This is the Micro Traction, and this is a progress capture and pulley all in one. Now this guy is definitely the most expensive piece of kit here. It retails for about $120, $130. But if you're looking for like a rope clamp like this is a great option. There are also some competitors. I know, like I believe the Edelred Spock, I think, is one of the direct competitors. So you can shop around, because I know that there are some other rope clamps and pulleys that may be more affordable than this one. But this is the one that I've chosen and I use, and I quite enjoy it. It's pretty basic. You can just open it up like that, put the rope through. It's got a nice ball bearing metal pulley there, and then you can use it just as a normal pulley if you'd like, or you can press this button here and it will lock down. Another progress capture, and this is what I use on the master point, and this is as my progress capture, because the pulley of course reduces friction as opposed to using just like a carabiner to redirect the rope. And then instead of having a prusik attached there, that the prusiks tend to slip, slide, and have the other issues that I talked about earlier. I mean, it's a totally workable setup, and for a long time I did use prusiks as my primary crevasse rescue kit. But I've decided to upgrade to this because it's just that much more efficient to throw this guy in the rope. Activate the progress capture, make sure it's like facing the right direction, and then go, as opposed to tying prusiks and things. It just tends to be a more versatile tool. But other than that, I mean, I really like this. I like that you can lock the progress capture up if you don't want to use this as a progress capture and just use the pulley. I like the orange color. It's solidly constructed and it works really well. And again, it saves me time, and I don't have to worry about the issues of prusiks. And of course, this works on the same diameter of rope sizes that the tip lock does. So again, always double check to make sure that your ropes will fit the gear you use. This guy is a pretty straightforward triple action auto locking carabiner, and I simply use this to clip into the glacier rope, because most of the time I'm not actually tying in to the glacier rope directly with like a rewoven figure 8, because usually I'm not on the end of the glacier rope. So I'm either using this to clip into the middle, or if I'm on like either the front or the rear of the rope, I'm usually going to be carrying a small coil of extra rope in my backpack, because in a rescue situation it's really useful to have a little bit of extra rope that you can lay out to build like a crevasse haul system. And so because of that, I'm usually actually tying in partway along the rope on like a rewoven figure 8, and then I'm having the rope run into my backpack where I have the coils. But I need to then attach the rewoven figure 8 to my harness, and so this is the guy I use for that, because I used to use 2 opposite and opposed locking carabiners, which works really well. The issue is it just used up a lot of my carabiners, and sometimes I wanted access to more locking carabiners for other purposes, and so instead I decided to go with this guy. It has 3 independent actions that must be completed before it can be opened, or in order to like open the gate, which is what you need on a glacier. And because then I just have 1 carabiner to use, I'm not missing a bunch of lockers that I can then use for other tasks, like setting up haul systems. That is the specialized gear in my crevasse rescue system. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a thumbs up and drop me a comment if you have something to say. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.